Hello, guys. Hello, traders and traderettes. This is Dr. Greg McLeod from Elite Traders University. How do you do? How do you do? Happy Thursday to you. I hope you guys are doing well. And I'm looking forward to this Thursday Power Hour. And we got some exciting things to share with you. I just want to make sure we do a quick sound check, a video check. Make sure that you can hear my voice and see my screen. And we're going to get started momentarily. And let me go ahead and pop the link here in our group, right? And let's go put that in here and we're going to get started. We're going to get started. And I hope you guys having a great Thursday, staying safe, staying warm. You know, it's still kind of cold in different parts of the country still, right? And I'm going to go ahead and post this and then maybe get out to everybody everyone, okay, and then post. Okay. Yeah, my name is Dr. Greg McLeod, and I am the CEO and founder of the Elite Traders University. Yay, over there, right? Here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. But most of our classes are online, and I want to say hello to our online community, the Elite Traders who are part of the Pip and Run mentorship. And boy, we have lots of fantastic things going on. We're helping people pass Apex challenges. We're helping people double and triple live accounts. Just amazing, amazing results that you don't find anywhere else on a consistent basis, where we take average people, professionals and entrepreneurs who have been struggling at trading for years. All of a sudden, they get a new lease on life. They're able to realize their dreams. They're able to travel. They're able to pay their bills. They're able to pay off their bills. They're able to live where they want to live, buy what they want to buy, and do it on their terms without the frustration and overwhelm. Because why? Because we are a results-based trading company. We help people get results. It's not what if theory. We have a turnkey results. We've been doing it for 10 years. And so we're really happy about what we do. We're very proud of what we do. 10 years of doing this. And I've been in the markets for 30 years. And I worked professionally at a Wall Street firm and one of the largest Forex broker dealers in the world as a currency analyst, as a Wall Street analyst from the mean streets of South Central LA, to UCLA. And I chose between the blue and the red, the Bloods and the Crips. I chose green. And so the green is the dream that I help people to realize, to escape the rat race, right? Escape them the rat race, the instability, the insecurity, so you can, put your Uber keys away, put your DoorDash hat away, and just become a full-time professional trader working a couple hours a week. If that's what you're interested in, then this is the right place that you're supposed to be, right? It's the laptop lifestyle. I was able to visit my student graduates, multimillionaire in Austin, Texas. You guys saw the pictures, me in his penthouse, 53rd floor, overlooking the Google building. We look down on the Google headquarters, looking down at the river, Cobalt River, and it was a beautiful sight. Be able to visit my daughters, who are doing well as well. So anyway, this Thursday Power Hour is very special because we're going to be talking about, I did a challenge where I was going to take a $200 account. I was going to do something fantastical, something that, very rarely do people actually do. But my goal was to set my goals on to move it from a $200 account. How many people are you out there, you're trading with a small account? Let me know. You're trading with a small account. And so if you're trading with, I call a small account, hey, you're sub $1,000. You're a small account, really. You got to figure that, if you're making the typical hedge fund does 25% per year, 25% per year. If you have a $1,000 account and you make 25%, you're talking about making about, $250, right? So it's not a lot of money, right? The more you have, the more you can make. With Forex and with the markets, you have leverage. Leverage helps you to magnify gains. So when I tell you that I took basically a $234.95 account, and then I took it to $4,000 in 4 days, you probably say, that's fake. That's completely fake, right? Um, but I didn't quite make it to my $10,000 goal. In fact, I blew it up. Not before I took a withdrawal. I was able to take two big withdrawals. Uh, when I got it up to 2,300, I pulled $1,800 out, and so I had dropped it down to 600. Took that 600 back up to close to the $2,000 again, and then drew another $1,000, and then took it back up again. And I was tired. I was traveling. I just came back from Austin, Texas, and I was trading, and I was tired, and I was a little fatigued, and I had already doubled that pullback. After that pullback, I doubled, and I went and I just wanted to double it again, right? So a couple of things I want to tell you the lessons I learned, right? And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you blew up an account," and there's a feeling of shame, there's a feeling of embarrassment, and and you feel sick to your stomach. And probably when you lose your account, it's like losing your best friend, right? It's you go into a period of mourning. There's a sadness you feel. There's a regret. Why didn't I do this? Why did I do that? You start beating up on yourself. You start doubting yourself. And I've been there. I felt the same way. In fact, I consult with my students. That's one of the things about having mentorship, being able to talk to and have access to someone who has gone through the same shit that you've gone through too. And I said the French word too, right? I speak French too. And when you go through it and you have someone that hasn't gone through it, you don't think you're being understood. And I understand because I've been there, right? And so you feel that regret, you feel that sadness, and you're operating at a different frequency, a different wavelength when you're getting to that sadness, this guilt. Maybe your significant other, your wife or your husband, they're putting you down. That's money we could have used we could have gone on vacation. We could have done this, and you blew it up on the market. So now you've got that. If it's not coming from your spouse, your significant other, maybe it's coming from you, in which you are putting this guilt trip on yourself, right? And so you can't really move forward because you're operating in the space, because you're creating this negative energy, and this negative energy creates more energy. And so no matter what you do, you keep losing and losing and losing and losing. So, failure is really a step on the way to success. Very few people, start to have the magic touch and they make money right away, right? So it's important I'm going to give you some things to deal with that, because many of you have gone through losses before and how to handle them. You can't move forward unless you get closure with what you have lost, okay? First of all, you got to change, you have to reframe it from a loss to a lesson learned, right? And that it's moving you forward to another. And it really did not just say flippantly, I'm learning lessons, but really, this is one step into my success, and I'm closer to my success than I think, right? And so now there's enthusiasm, like I'm going to do better next time, right? So now you're operating a different level of energy, right? You're moving from guilt and shame and frustration and anger to maybe hope, enthusiasm, curiosity. What am I going to discover next? What's going to take me to the next level? This is what I noticed, and then you're taking yourself to another level of growth, right? And so when you able to do that, then all of a sudden synchronicity and coincidence and miracles and special, maybe someone will send you a check, or maybe there's a special, you get a bonus on your job, or maybe you wind up selling something. I remember one time, long time ago, finding an air conditioner in a dumpster, and I put it online on sale, and it was basically paid zero for it and sold it for like $300. I remember miracles and things going like that. If you stay open and positive to allow blessings and things to flow to you from different different arenas. Okay, so I know maybe get a little metaphysical and a little woo-woo, but if you feel me, give me, type like 888 in the chat box. That's an Asian lucky number there. Let me know that you understand. You've seen that before, where you think like it's so bad, but if you just say, and we used to say stuff back in the 70s, where the rainbow meant something else. Rainbow was like happy and hopeful. You're like, hey, you keep a stiff upper lip and keep your high hopes and stay positive. Your out attitude determines your altitude, right? So even in the face of what looks like a loss, it actually turns out to be something better, right? Because there's scripture behind this too. In fact, the scripture that I quote is, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord, right? So when all things work, when you are able to like recite that, then you're able to put yourself in a different frame of mind, and you put yourself in a level or a framework of receptivity. Okay, where you're able to receive, right? Like if I'm thirsty and I don't have anything to capture water, I'm going to be thirsty, right? But if I get into a position of receptivity, if you pour water now, I can drink, right? But I can't drink if I'm not in a position to receive, right? Your mind has to be in be able to receive, right? And first of all, you have to, if you're going like this, you're anticipating it's someone, namely God, is going to supply you with something, right? If I go like this, I'm expecting something to come into my hand, right? If I don't have my hands out, then I'm not expecting anything. And when water comes, maybe some will get in my mouth, but most of it will go on my chest, right? So your mindset forms that bowl, that cup. My cup runneth over. You form that cup, right? You form that, yeah. So again, Romans 28. Romans 8:28. All things, we all know, we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, right? And to him that are called according to his purpose, right? So we're all called for a purpose. You know what your purpose is, right? But we're really helped, right? Because I've blown up accounts before and came back for them, and sometimes, punch some walls, throw some keyboards, kick something in, but you get past that where you can say, even though this is gone this way, you can still remain positive, right? And I remember seeing a biography of a billionaire, and he had lost $100 million. And his wife said, "How was your day?" And she goes, "I lost $100 million." And he goes, "Oh my goodness." And he didn't move he didn't let his situations changes, because if this changes, you change your thinking, you change your life. So if you let outside things change this, you're doomed, right? This is all you have. This is how you lose your mind. I'm losing my mind. You lose your mind, you've lost everything. In fact, just go out to the streets and see those people living in tents on the side of the road. They've lost their mind, and that's where they are. It's not a homeless problem. It's a mind problem, right? Because the people who had houses, big houses and palaces, I'm from California, a lot of beautiful communities. My brother's high school got burned down, and it's like, you'll see that, you got all this tragedy, but those people, they lost their home, but they're not homeless, right? They are serious. I mean, they are homeless. I mean, they lost their home, but because they have networks, because they have they have connections and family, and they are positioned in such a way that, yes, their house have burned down, but they're not homeless. Why? They got a credit card. They can move into a hotel. They have a friend, and the friend may be a neighbor, or they have lots of things. Their mind has solutions, right? And as long as you have your mind, you have solutions. But if you lose your mind, you lose your temper. When you lose these things, you lose control. And when you lose control, you're like spiraling out of control. You're going to crash, right? So you don't want to lose this. And you can't let little stuff, everything's little stuff. Everything is little stuff. You can't let those things cause you to lose your mind, right? Lose your emotions. Because why? Because all things work together for your good. So if you stay in a positive state long enough, you're well, that's wishful thinking and you're not being real. You're not down with the cause. You're not feeling what I'm feeling. It's like, yeah, you can. It's okay. You're a human being. You're not Dr. Spock. You can't like go like, hey, I don't feel anything. But they got drugs for that, right? When I used to work at a prop desk in California, this guy goes, I don't care how much I lose or how much I win because I got some of these, right? That's gum, right? But he was taking something that he says, this stuff, if my whole family got killed, I wouldn't feel anything, right? So he's numbed out, right? And that's not the right probably you want to do that. To make yourself immune to situations. People numb themselves out. I'm sure there's all kinds of pharmaceutical drugs that you guys can name that for that very purpose. But I tell you what, there's a supernatural way of jacking into the infinite power that lives in you called Christ Jesus. When you can cast my burdens upon him before he cares for me, you cast that burden of guilt, of shame, of regret, then your natural state that God created you is a state of abundance and prosperity and growth and joy. And that's your natural state. But just like you can't look at the ground, you're a farmer, you look at the ground, hey, ground, give me some tomatoes, give me some corn, give me some cabbage. You got to plant something first, right? Because if you don't, you're going to get weeds. There's going to be weeds and, and bugs. That ground is your attitude, right? So you got to plant something into it, right? You have to, what they call it, offer the sacrifice of praise. I ain't thank God hasn't given me anything. I'm not thankful. And you ain't going to get anything either, right? You have to call those things that be not as though they were and have faith in the prosperity, the joy, the abundance, the outcome that you would really want to have happen, right? You want to have that option. And guys, I'm not just talking from a book or something like that. My whole life is based on walking by faith and not by sight. In fact, Dr. Frederick Casey Price, my pastor, God rest his soul, he passed away. He spoke the word of faith movement, right? He says the whole universe was created by a word. God said, let there be, and there was. There was light, and there was, right? Jesus spoke his word, and he was healed. In fact, in the book of Job, it says, decree a thing, it shall be established. What is your word? Even when in our coaching sessions are not religious or things like that, but I know you cannot change physical things doing physical stuff. It starts internal first, right? Change your thinking, change your life. So a man thinketh, so he is, right? So yeah, people come to me on a breakthrough strategy call, and we talk about, my entries are off and my exits are off, and I don't know where support and resistance. I can't find the direction of the trend, and it's really not any of that. Really, when I talk to people, it comes to what are they thinking? What do they think about money? How are their thoughts moving? What do they think about themselves? Well, I never really win anything. I always lose. This is just like it normally happens, blah, blah, blah. They have scripts, almost like computer viruses, running in the back of their head, causing all kinds of destruction and mayhem and things like that. They don't even know. 95% of what we do is unconscious, right? The unconscious mind. We blink our eyes. Our heart is beating. We're breathing. We're not thinking about, I got to breathe. I got to blink my eyes. When we think about doing something, it's a conscious mind, but our whole world is driven by the unconscious mind. And then we let TV, we let, politicians, we let all kinds of stuff program us to act a certain way. right? Because if they can control the subconscious, they can control your outcome. They control your life if they control your subconscious. But guess what? It's the subconscious, it's unconscious. You don't know you're being controlled, right? And so if you don't like where you are, what you have, or how you're performing, then it's a matter of changing the subconscious programming that's driving you, right? And it's always driven by your most dominant thought. The whatever you say to yourself over and over again, whatever you hold in, when we hold in conscious mind, what you hold in your mind, your thoughts will objectify, right? Will objectify. I was sitting at my daughter Kira. Big congratulations to her. She just got accepted to the University of Texas medical branch in nutritional science, and that was something that you know. Her whole, from the very beginning, from being accepted to college, all started. And I trained my kids from when they were 3, 4, 5 years old to speak their word, visualize what they see, and allow God to take them in that right direction. So you can imagine being told that you're a mathematical genius, confess that, and then you're a scholar. You just get, because that's how I train, and that's the way I train my children. When I taught school, is how I trained my middle school students. So even though I taught in South Central LA and Watts, in the roughest part of Los Angeles, I told my students that you are a champion, you are a winner. You can read every word you can see. You are an overcomer. And I had them confess those things and do affirmations in the 90s, right? Now, those kids were in all kinds of awards, got accepted to university, things that no kids in South Central were able to be expected to do. They're expected to have a life of crime, prostitution, drugs, and gangs, right? Now, we didn't save every single one of them, but but we changed. My wife and I, we taught middle school at Barkin Middle School, South Central. I taught at Jordan High School during the summertime. And so we had a number of our students who got PhDs, who got master's degrees, who went on to do great things. And they could trace it right back to that junior high school where I was teaching them how to trade stocks and options, commodities, right? And it was as simple as just changing their confession. Well, I can't do nothing because I'm for the hood, blah, 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 blah. I go, I'm for the hood too, Change your thinking, change your mind, right? And so by, you're putting on your identity. It's like you put on a jacket, right? You put on a leather jacket, people think you're a thug or something. You take it off, guess what? Put a white shirt on. Hey, I'm an executive. It's simple as put on. It's like putting on the whole armor of God. You could put on the armor of a hedge fund manager. In fact, we did that at our last retreat. We actually had someone do hypnosis on our students. They said, I don't want them to act like chickens. I don't want you to change your personality. I said, let's go ahead. I want you to think they're hedge fund managers, right? And so he goes, this is only going to work for a little bit. You go, yeah, it's almost like Dumbo and the Feather, the whole, My Fair Lady, the whole idea of putting yourself in a different state, right? And Tony Robbins does that. I'm teaching stuff that he'll charge you $5,000, $10,000, $7,000 to do this stuff, right? Neurolinguistic programming, why you're just changing your conscious mind, your thought process about yourself, changing the unconscious mind. And we did it for a short period of time. We had everybody hit we were trading gold and everybody was hitting, right? And it was just tremendous seeing so many people winning winning their trades and making a lot of money live here in Vegas, right? And he goes, we do this for people to lose weight, and guess what? They get the weight back, right? So it didn't last, right? Because it did that, hypnosis goes through a different avenue. And we want to do it through the spirit. You want to do it through meditation and prayer, and it'll be it's longer lasting. You're building in your solid foundation, and so it won't, you will have better roots, right? So I don't advocate that, but just how powerful the human mind is, that you can act, you can take a shortcut and really jack up your trading. using hypnosis, neuro linguistic programming, and NLP and stuff like that. But I have a better way. We do something called PTAS. You know, is a professional trader transformation acquisition system where we just do this PDR, practice, drill, rehearse over a longer period of time, gives you stronger, better results. And that's why we have students that will pass the challenge, in 1 day. They'll pass an Apex challenge in 3 days, right? I had one student pass in 4 days, right? So it is a matter of changing your state, right? Because if you just try to, well, I need another indicator or another ebook or another course, you need transformation. It says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Jesus said, when you renew your mind, so a man thinketh so he is. The whole idea, Apostle Paul said, you got to be transformed by this renewing of your mind. And you just can't take one shower and say, I'm clean. You got to smell the next day. It's like, yeah, I took a shower. We used to have a joke, because the Three Stooges would say, Curly would say, knock, 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 it's Thursday. It's, what day it is? It's bath day. Bath day? You only take one bath a week, So it was like the funniest thing I would tell my girls when they were little. Hey guys, it's Thursday. Knock, knock, knock. And they go, what does that mean? It's bath day. Dad's gonna take Dad, you only take a bath on Thursday? We gotta save water. It's a joke, But we do that with our own minds. You did your affirmations, you did your prayer, you did it like last week, you did it on Sunday. Well, I went to church on Sunday, but your mind, you're starving for the next 6 days, right? So you want to give yourself this type of nutrition, right? So let me go ahead and actually show you the account, right? That's and the reason why I've gotten the mindset because thinking about Elon Musk. Now, whether you like him or not, and people are like yelling at him and this, but I tell you what, there are a lot of people that people yelled at and shot at, and then 10 years later, oh, let's make a holiday for them. They were so great. If they were alive, I would be there. No, you wouldn't. You'd be the nutcase on the other side saying, kill him, right? Right? So, then Martin Luther King, oh, Martin, we're alive today. Saying, no, you would, no, that guy's a communist, it's like, no, this, you really got to look at yourself and see what side of history are you really on? Are you that crowd? Jesus was, Pontius Pilate had Barnabas on one side, Jesus on the other. We're coming up on the Christian Easter season, and there was a choice. The people could choose Barabbas. This is your democracy. They took a vote. There was democracy in action. Vote for Jesus, he goes free. Vote for Barabbas, he goes free. Well, this guy, he healed and did good things. Nah, crucify him. Barabbas, set him free. It was a vote, right? It was a vote. And then, I'm glad that vote happened. We wouldn't have salvation. We wouldn't have salvation. We'd all be sinners going to hell if we didn't have those people make the wrong decision and have Jesus crucified, right? So, but you got to think that, our planet seems to, have this thing where people who are doing good stuff, we wind up saying that they're really bad, and then they try to kill them, right? And so that's that we call the race mind, not ethnic race, but human race mind, right? Which will awaken itself from, let's eat the fruit, get ourselves kicked out of the garden kind of thing, making the wrong decision. And you go, oh, that wasn't a really good decision, right? So we got to be very careful not to get caught up in the wrong decision, because history will judge us. Our children will look at us and go, you did what? Yeah, we didn't think black people were human beings, so we sick dogs on them. I was like, but those people thought they were doing the right thing, right? So are we doing the right thing? are we so caught up in our thinking? So I didn't mean to be political or anything like that. But the whole idea is, self-examine yourself and really look at the facts and don't just follow the crowd, because the crowd killed our Lord and Savior. And so I'm not saying that anyone else is our Lord and Savior, but, usually the lemmings are all going in one direction. Just learn how to be an independent thinker, right? Just be an independent thinker. Be independent, not biased on left or right or red or blue. Be independent and do what's good for your family and for you, right? What works out for you, right? Okay. With that said, and let me know in the chat box. Hey, Greg, you're full of crap, man. You're full of shit, man. If you go ahead, voice your opinion. There's no censorship here. The whole idea is to just give you a different way of thinking about things. So, because if you're not thinking differently and you're not happy with what you are getting, then you have to think differently. Well, my dad felt that way. My mom and my grandma, my big mama, blah, blah. Is that working for you now? Just going to ask yourself, is what you are doing and what your ancestors or your family or your friends doing, is that the life you want, right? So here we go. So this is a live account, Ox Securities, and this is February 27th. So this is the day after. I actually started this February 26th, right? And I started with, again, a $234 account, right? And let's see if I can I zoom this in some more? No, I'm pretty much zoomed in, right? First trade, make $4.70, right? I'm trading 0.1 lot. 0.1 may be a little bit excessive, right? But my thing is, I'm treating this the mindset of me in this $234 account is that it's not going to break my bank. It's not going to make me hungry or homeless. I'm willing to risk. In fact, they always tell you in those risk disclaimers, do not risk any more than you can afford to lose. Well, I can afford to lose $234, right? I think I'm going to treat it like an option, right? So if it expires worthless and I lose the entire thing, I am not going to be upset. Now, that's a lot of freedom right there, right? Because sometimes, in some occasions, let me know if you felt the same way, you have put $1,000 in, or maybe put $10,000 or $20,000 in, and now you're sweating bullets because maybe you borrowed the money, you took it from savings, you took it from the college fund, you took it from the rainy day fund, you put it on a credit card, and so now you're at a different level. In that there's a whole spectrum. Let me show you this before we get to here. There's a whole spectrum of thought that, levels of thought, right? And I'm trying to duplicate this, right? Because I want to stay there. And, I go Hawkins. It's called the Hawkins scale. This is the Hawkins scale emotion, right? So it goes from shame, guilt, all the way up to enlightenment, peace, joy, and love, right? And these attitudes or this condition usually produces this is what you experience. This is your consciousness. This is what you experience. So if you open up a $10,000 account with money that you can't afford to lose, now it's fear. You're in fear, right? Fear, desire, right? And if you lose any of that money, you're going to feel grief, apathy. As that account gets smaller and smaller, you go down and down in this level. And now you become, you might not take action, but it's contraction, right? Because not only is your account getting smaller, but your ability to think clearly contracts as well. And other things start going wrong. Your car might break down. No, you start putting out all kinds of vibrations, all kinds of stuff. Your dishwasher doesn't do this and this and this and this, right? And maybe your wife is angry at you for no reason. It's like did she look at my account? Why is she acting that way toward me? Why is he acting that way toward me? Why are my kids barking? Why is this dog barking at? The dog is growling at you, right? It's almost everybody knows you're losing money, right? You're like, how do they know that? Because you're vibrating at this level of shame, fear, and so you're just creating all kinds. You are a master creator. You God is a creator, and you are a child of God, so you are a creator as well. Okay, right? Dogs have puppies, cats have kittens, and God's your father. And guess what? You're baby gods, right? So you have the same creation, right? But you're unconsciously creating, right? I know it's kind of hard to believe, and a lot of people won't do it. They'll think life is doing something to you, but really, it kind of, like Job said, the thing that I feared has come upon me, which means Job created his own. The story of Job is, he had family. He was rich. He was the richest man at the time, and he believed that if his children had sinned or something, maybe God's going to get him or something, right? And so he believed this, and he offered all these sacrifices, but because he offered them out of fear, well, guess what? He got sick. He got boils on his skin. He lost everything. His kids are killed, and his wife says, hey, definitely you did something wrong. God, you might as well just curse God and die, right? And so, but eventually, he went through this for 7 years, and then everything was restored back to him. But the thing that he said was, the thing that I feared came upon me. And so you gotta search your unconscious mind. What's in your unconscious mind? Oh, I got $10,000 in my account. I hope I don't lose all of it. Man, it'd be really bad if I lost all of it. Man, I can imagine what my wife would say if I lost it. Imagine what my husband said if I lost it. Man, wound up going back and asking for my old job back, and I quit my job. And see, now you got all kinds of scripts going, bro, sis. You got these scripts going, right? And so now that creates energy. Every thought is an energetic being. It's like you're basically creating your own agents in the matrix. You're just creating all these agents, and they make what you think will come to pass, right? The more whatever you hold in, if you're constantly thinking you're going to lose the money, you're going to lose the money. In fact, I had one student, I'm not going to mention his name, but he got a $75,000 Apex account. And then he told me he blew up his account. I go, I didn't even know you even passed. He goes, yeah, I didn't want to tell you because I thought that I was going to lose all of it. And you thought you were going to lose all of it before you even got control of it. So you just created your own loss. You passed. You used the Pip and Run system. You received the $75,000 account. You got the certificate. And then he didn't show it to me because I'm going to post it. I'm going to be proud. I'm going to show up. My students can do this and do that. I'm going to be super excited, right? Because I'm just that kind of guy. I celebrate your wins. You don't even understand. When I celebrate your wins, it's a win for me, right? I'm a conscious creator. Why? Because I'm operating on this higher scale of love, joy, and guess what? I get all kinds of mad stuff happening for me as a result, right? When I'm helping other people, when I'm doing this in this energetic field, I'm creating expansion, not contraction, right? Give, it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, will men give into your bosom, right? So I receive stuff when I celebrate you. So I was trying to celebrate Ken. I go, why didn't you show me your certificate? I want to celebrate you. I mentioned his name. Oops, sorry, Ken. He goes, well, I didn't want to show you because I didn't know what I was going to do. I might blow it up. Well, did you blow it up? Yep. I was like, well, be it unto you according to how you believe. He's a perfect example of how his own thought sabotaged. Now that I pointed out to him, he's like, oh, okay. He just flip it back, right? Don't look at it as, because now you're locked into, I had a $75,000 Apex account. All you gotta do is make 10%, make $7,500 a month, and I'm home free. $7,500 a month times 12, I'm making like, gee willikers, $80,000, $90,000 a year. they'll start beating you up. All of a sudden now it's anger and grief, sadness, apathy, guilt, shame, and you never ever do it again, right? But you got to get into the point, like, again, I'm going to go back to Elon Musk. I just got off my thing there. And then a lot of people don't like him and blah, 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 blah. The guy put rockets in space and caused them to land, and no one else could do that, okay? So he's kind of smart, and he's the richest man in the world. Oh my God, it's kind of, it's like maybe that's something. Maybe, oh, I don't need all these riches. Yes, you do need money, and yeah, you would like to be like him, right? And if you don't, then you're lying to yourself, right? So there's a lot of examples that we can learn from him. I mean, there's having multiple children with different wives. Maybe that's not something we want to duplicate, right? But nobody's perfect, right? David did the same. King David did that too. So what we want to do is look at what we can take from his life, and other things we just discard it, right? And so I love his attitude. I think I posted in the chat box about how we feel about loss. People say, Elon Musk, he sent a rocket in the air and blew up, and he blew up 3 of them, he blew it up, and that's a different mindset. The mindset that points to a failure and says, oh, you're such a bad person because you had a failure. They're the same person who will tell a little baby, you fell down, stay on the ground. You suck, little baby. You can't walk. Why are you trying to walk? You might as well stay on the ground, right? So that doesn't help. But so looking at how he looks at a loss and being the richest man in the world and moving space travel so far in such a short amount of time at a very, at a fraction of what Boeing can't even bring their own rocket down. There's people up out in space that have been up there for almost years, and SpaceX has to rescue them, right? Because they're having so many problems. Because the growth mindset says, okay, I blew up that rocket, but it's just a step to learn. What did I learn from that, and how can we make it better, right? And so no one loss. And that's why good risk management is good, because no one loss takes you out. No one loss defines you, and you're not defined by your losses. You don't get down in here, and you may. Again, you're not Dr. Spock and Mr. Spock, and you can't suppress your emotions, and you may feel bad for a short amount of time as a human being. Okay, but it's like eating chocolate. It's like, this is good. Okay, I'm done. Right? You just don't go gorging yourself on the whole gallon of chocolate ice cream, right? Emotions are like ice cream. You get a little, you taste it. Okay, I'm done with that. Let's move on, right? But don't try to suck up the whole bottom of the and then you're in a pity party and you're in a cycle of contraction, which it's too dangerous for you to be in this cycle of contraction. You need to immediately get back to love, joy, peace, whether praising the Lord, putting on some joyful music, watching some comedy. I'll watch some comedy. I'll watch some Facebook comedians, or I'll listen to some scripture, something that will raise your attitude, raise your emotional state, so you can go, because you're constantly creating, guys. Remember, the longer you stay here, the more you create. So if you are here, you're going to create crap, right? But you got to get out of here, maybe get even angry about your situation to jump into here, whether it's watching something funny, listening to some music, you might fix yourself a great meal. I had a plate of crab legs, people go to stress eating. Yeah, you don't want to do too much of that either, but do something kind for yourself to change your attitude, because your subconscious mind will say, I did something bad, so therefore I have to punish myself. And so now you're stuck back down here again in this contraction phase, right? So at each step of the way in my account, going back to the account, I was able to start with 0.1, 0.1, and gaining confidence. This is the great thing about what I did. And then again, I took an account I will show you. Let me do this again. Right. Okay. But what I was able to do was to take an account from $200 to $2,300. And when I got to $2,300, I took a withdrawal. So this drop is not a loss. It's an actual withdrawal. I withdrew $1,800 and dropped it down to about $567, right? And then right after that, I started trading and took it back up to $1,800. And I took $1,000 out, right? Took 1,000 and I dropped that down, right? So all this is within, 4 or 5 days, right? So when I took that money out, I was in Austin. We went out to dinner, went to Terry Black's, had some barbecue. It's like, yeah, had some nice, tasty barbecue. We went to breakfast at this place called the Tasty Badger. They didn't serve Badger there, but they have a great breakfast, right? And so that was really cool because now I made it real. I'm able to take care of some bills, some things, right? Right. And then I'm going to bring it back up, right? So the gross profit actually is higher than that, 3,692.17. Actually, it was like 4,000 the next, because from here, I had gotten it back up to like 1,400, 1,500. And then, I was on the wrong side of the trade. I broke my rules. Okay. Let me tell you about the rule breaking. This system, which I developed, is for Asia trading only. I only trade during Asia, and I stopped. I didn't trade during New York is too volatile. London is too volatile. I needed dollar yen to stay in a pretty tight range. And so basically I was going in and out rapidly. In fact, I had 319 trades with a 95.92% win percentage, which is pretty good. Show me some dollar signs in the chat box so you think that's okay, right? 95.92, 306 trades. And some of these trades lasted a second. Some of them last 2 minutes. Some of them last an hour. Maybe some of them were stacking into one level or another level, right? My drawdown for the entire time was 1.46%. Now, 1.46, put this into context that when you're doing the prop trading fund or prop trading, you're dealing with a 5% drawdown. So yeah, you have a $50,000 account, 5% drawdown really means you're only trading with maybe $2,500 account, right? Okay, so I'm trading with a, at the time, anywhere from 200 up to $1,000. Well, for 1%, I'm really only trading with $100, right? Or less, like $10. I'm only trading with $10, really, because my stops were extremely tight. I didn't. If you look at my profit factor, a gentleman pointed out to me that 85.82 is insane, right? The typical profit factor is like maybe 11 or 10 or 11, but not 85, right? And my absolute drawdown was 0, right? So, the key, the wonderful thing is that, and I've taken accounts from $77. Let's say it started off as $1,000. This was back in 2016. 2014. Yeah, because I had my surgery, my heart surgery. So someone gave me $1,000, right? And they said, "Can you trade for me?" And I say, "I don't trade for people." And he says, "Well, I want to know if you're for real or not." So I said, "Okay, sure." Took it to. I said, "But we're going to share the profits 50%." We shook on it. We shook on the deal. And immediately with $1,000, they dropped it down to $77. I mean, like horrible. Mindset shift. It's like took the 77 up to we took it up to like $5,000, right? No, $10,800. We took it up. I took it up, right? So it goes from 77 down up to 10,000. That's what it's a huge return, right? And so I had told him, I said, I'm having surgery. I don't have medical insurance. Um, I mean, the deductible, I had medical insurance, but the deductible was high. The deductible was like $5,000. I said, this is perfect. Let's do 50%, make a withdrawal, give me half, right? And he goes, oh no, you need to make it more. I'm like, going, make it more? No, we had a deal. We shook hands on this. I took an account from $1,000 to 10,000. Give me my half. Well, he wouldn't give it to me, right? It's supposed to be I'm the biggest broker here in Dallas, Texas, blah, blah, blah. And he went to my church too. It's like, okay, church guy, give me my half, and he didn't, right? But God, stay in the proper mindset because God provided for that. And I was able to take another account, trade it up, and pay for that, right? Um, that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying that I've taken accounts from $77 to $10,000. So I said, I'm starting off with like 4 times what I normally would have, and scaled it up. And but this time, instead of compounding within the account, my goal was to take $1,000 or $2,000 each time, and then compound that in my checking account, right? Because sometimes, I've done this where I've scaled it up to like $4,000 or $5,000. I'll start getting. I have something called TUI. This is what we talk about in our group. TUI. You're a DUI, right? You know what DUI is? Woo! Right? You're driving, you get a little tipsy. Take a breathalyzer. I don't know anything about that. I don't drive drunk. But TUI is trading under the influence. DUI is drinking under the influence, but TUI is trading under the influence. And what they have done, in France, there's a video on the YouTube, you probably have seen it, where they take the blood of a person who has made a lot of money trading, and their blood it's like got crack cocaine. There's like endorphins, there's all kinds of chemicals in their blood secreted by this base of their brain, where your brain is this complete chemistry lab. It can synthesize all kinds of stuff. So what happens is you lose your inhibition, you become kind of like delusional, right? How many of you have made a lot of money in your account and then lost it right away, right? You went long instead of short, you went short instead of long, right? And if they took a blood sample, they had you blow into a pipe, you probably set that thing off, right? And so you just stop, put your hands in your back of your head, take away from the computer, turn around, and walk away, get away from your computer, right? And that's what I was constantly doing, except for that night. That night, I was TUI'd. I was lit with endorphins, I had the withdrawal wires are hitting my account. I got this thing up to like $1,400 after being down here at 600, got it up to 14, right? And I'm like going, I'm going to take this back over the top, over 2316, get it up to like 2,500, right? And sure enough, I'm on the wrong side of the trade. It's after hours. I already made the money, right? My rule was to stop, right? I'm TUI'd, I'm tired, I've been traveling. So I traded during the European Open and got stuck in trades. And I was in large size in the wrong direction. And then try to hedge out of it. It was a shit show. It was horrible, right? And I did kick some things, but then I'm like going, my total net profit, I've got to bring that back to my account, So I lost the house money. I didn't lose my money. In fact, I remember what I started with. I started with what, $234, right? So I started with $234. I still wound up pocketing, about $2,800, right? And so that really, the great thing about it is that the system works. I've got another little challenge account now that I'm actually going to be doing the challenge next week. So if you're interested in trading alongside with me to see this Asia system for 2 hours, it's just $97 for the week. Just but private message me, right? Yeah, private message me because the payment gateway is not really working that way, and I have to give you another a link. And we're going to start we'll probably start. We're going to do 3 days. We'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and so that'll be 10th, 11th, and oh no, sorry, 11th, 12th, and 13th for $97. And we might throw a bonus session in there, might throw a Monday or a Friday in there, depending on how we do, right? So if you're interested in being part of that challenge, that 3-day challenge, it's going to be next week. We're going to do an Asia session. We're going to do, I know Barbatule, he's great supporter of our challenges. He's participated in all of our challenges, but he's in Africa, and the time zone is a little off for him. So I might just give an extra hour to accommodate him because he reaches out to me, him and the Nets. A big salute to you guys. A few of you guys reach out to me and talk to me about the challenge. You're interested. Other people don't seem to be interested, and that's fine. More pips for us, right? But I would like to have, we have at least 10 to 20 people in the room, and if we can reach that number, then it'll be worth my time, right? So if we don't reach that number, then I'll just refund you your money, okay? But I definitely would like to, if I'm spending that time to get about 10 to 20 people in the room. Again, it's going to be Asia session. I don't like getting up early in the morning. It's not going to be New York session, and the system doesn't really, it starts trending, and I want to stay in the scalping short term. We're grabbing 3 or 4 pips, but we're using a high leverage account. Okay, using a high leverage account when you're trading with a 2,000 to 1 or 500 to 1 or 1,000 to 1 leverage, you're magnifying your gains. Low leverage during Asia, well, Asia doesn't really move that much, right? So if it moves 5 pips and you got 100K lot on, well, gee, you made $50, right? And if you get 10 pips, well, then you made $500. So it's a pretty cool system that we're going to be using. I'm going to give you a template so you can follow along, and then when the market gets like a little dull, we'll answer some questions. We'll also record them and give you a recording, and we'll have a membership area as well. Again, if you're interested in that. But again, just to wrap things up, it's all about mindset and what you can do, right? And being able to put together trades and take your system over and over again. In fact, I had the broker called me because I traded like what he says 50 standard lots. I've traded a lot more than 50 standard lots. He says I traded a lot more of that. You gotta figure we can figure that out too, because okay, this is yeah. So this is no, I stopped trading point one. I stopped trading point one and only traded 1.0, right? And multiple 1.0s. So he says I trade 50 standard lots. So 50 standard lots is like 500,000, 50 times 100,000. Oh, that's more than that. Come on, Greg. Move the zero over, right? 50 times 100, 1, 2, 3, right? So 5 million. So 5 million. You got to figure I was trading 5 million notional volume in over the course of 6 days, right? Again, yes, I did blow up, but yes, I walked away with $2,800 plus. I've got a lot of data that I could use for starting this next challenge, right? And so if you're interested, hit me up, DM me in Instant Messenger. Instant Messenger is DM direct message. That's what DM stands for. And then I'll hit you back, and then I'll give you all the logistics on how we go ahead and get started. And you can go to forexpowertrader.com and see our site. Let me share that, right? Again, the payment system is not hooked up yet. But reach out to me directly for a link. And share. And yeah, Forex. Power trader. I'm not sure why. They're trying to keep us from, right? So the Power Trader Scalpers Club, right? It'll say $4.97, but the coupon's built in. Just, I mean, you can just read about it, watch the video. And we got the video here that you can share the sound there, right?
It's the trading event of the century. Unlock the secrets of profitable trading in just one day. The question is, how much do you want to make? There's only one expert that can guarantee results. His name is Greg McLeod. With a 93% win percentage, winning 600 trades straight without a loss, you will not want to miss this opportunity to trade with the world's finest. It's time to take your trading experience to new heights. Each session will bring you to another level in life and prosperity. Join now. It's the live trading event with Greg McLeod.
All right. All right. All right, guys. I want to thank you so much for joining me with the Thursday night live, this power hour. And, let me know what your thoughts, your golden nuggets, your big takeaways. We covered a lot of material. We covered about mindset. We talked about how to change our mindset to change our trading. We talked about, how I can take a small account and leverage it up, how I violate my rules, not getting enough sleep, not stopping, TUI and all those types of things, right? So again, my mission is to help traders become professional traders. They can unplug from the rat race and be free to do what God's called them to do, wherever that may be, okay? So I love you. Peace and pips. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
If you felt a spark here and want to see how these principles can be used in your own trading, go to www.elitetradersuniversity.com/apply to book a free session with our team. We have helped hundreds of people remove the frustration and obstacles in trading to become consistent, highly profitable traders. These are proven principles that just work. Happy pipping!